from my cold, dead hands.
Hey guys, I recently got some hands-on time with the new Remington/Bushmaster ACR. This is the Bushmaster version. Remington hasn't come out with theirs yet. They are trying to shave it down a full pound in weight because it's a heavy gun. But I got to take a little bit more detailed of a look at it, and so I got to pull it apart. I want to thank Second Amendment Sports for letting me do that. On the flip side, because it was done during business hours, there's a lot of background noise. I apologize for that, and it was done with a point-and-shoot camera. Video's not the best, but I'm hoping to at least give you guys a little bit of insight into some of the special features and get you guys a sneak peek at it. While I'm at it, let me just mention I am rocking my Gun Dudes t-shirt. Make sure you check out that podcast and everything else on the Gun Rights Radio Network. Here are the video clips, and then I'll be back at the end with some more thoughts.
Ready. The ratcheting system on this is actually kind of interesting. It is pretty easy. It is toolless. This is, incorporated in there. What you got to do is you take this jam nut, basically, and push it down right there on that little lever. And once you do that, that'll release the ratchet pressure. You just crank it over to the side. It slides right out. It's that simple. Now, it comes out all in one piece. So I don't know about the quick change barrel thing, because your gas block, your piston, all that jazz is all going to be one piece. These are definitely not AR barrels. But put it back in, you slide that back down into place, and then you have to push this down. Now it's sprung pretty heavily, but you pull it over the side, push it down, and then once you got it started, you just crank over and raise back up. That's all there is to it. So the barrel changes will be quick, but they are going to be proprietary barrels. These three holes are kind of interesting here. One of these had the cross pin that the lower receiver hinges to. The other one, the standard gun comes with like the MOE style handguard. When you pull it back on, it'll clamp down, and you can see that cross pin's going to go into that third hole right there. But I kind of wonder, it's got these three there. I'm wondering if we're not going to see different lower receivers chambered in different actions, maybe different calibers, like 7.62 by 39, or maybe something that requires a little bit longer case space if they're not going to have something longer. It would be interesting to see if they can do that, though, because you've still got all that metal jamming up the action. You still only going to be able to fit in a magazine of a certain length. So be curious to see what they do.
16 to me.
Interesting thing about this bolt carrier, that notch is actually what keeps it from the non-reciprocating handle. I'll get into that in a little bit.
How are you going to get a 10?
It's definitely an M16 inspired bolt, but it's not a true M16 bolt, because you can see that pin doesn't go in the same way. That one pivots right there, and that's on a different axis
No, you got to have 16 inches.
From the extractor.
That's the minimum.
So it's not truly an M16 bolt, definitely inspired. Spring-loaded, which I think is kind of cool. Just something to point out. You can see right here they've actually built the buffer into the gun.
Yeah.
So no more of this buying a 1911 and throwing a shock buff in there that starts screwing up your action. It's built in. As the bolt carrier travels back, it's going to stop right there,
like an inch of this
fully designed. I like the fact that they thought about that all the way through. The other thing is that notch is what causes the bolt, the charging handle to be non-reciprocating. What you've got, and this is probably going to be kind of hard to see,
you have to get some sort of a permanent adapter.
Down in there, when you move this thing, it goes over a little cam, a little ledge. I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up or not.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But as long as the charging handle,
I don't know what other things they don't mind.
Right there. As long as the charging handle is fully forward, it gets disengaged from that catch on the bolt carrier. So basically, there's no extra lever, there's no extra clamp or mechanical complexity. If this thing is cycling and it stops for some reason, all you have to do is pull this thing back. It'll engage in the path to catch the bolt carrier, and then you pull it straight forward. It works as a forward assist. So I actually really like that part of the design concept. One of the things I got to point out here is we're recording this video on May 4th, 2010. Now, the Magpul 2010 video has come out. Thanks, Ray. But if you look at these front sights, those are not... it's going to be all weird of an angle, but those aren't the Generation 2 M-Bus. us.
Oh, those are Gen 1s?
Yeah, and I understand that the Generation 2 hasn't been released, but they have released the catalog. I mean, we know it's coming, and it just strikes me as odd that they would stick these old, just like screw it up and screw it down sights on there instead of waiting for the premiere of the ACR and their Masada to put better sights on there, like the Generation 2s. I would think that if anything, Generation 2 would have made its debut with this, and then we'd get them as aftermarket pieces later. So, kind of surprised.
I'm a little surprised at the fact that the NRA magazine, the article on the NRA, said that these inserts, this handle,
the Myad insert,
is not a true Myad handle.
Right.
It's not a true Myad pistol grip, which means only most of the Myad inserts work for it.
Now, that's something I told you I was going to throw at you later, give you an explanation why.
Okay.
There are only 3 Myad inserts.
Okay.
One that holds 3 bullets, whoop-de-doo.
The one that
holds an M16 bolt carrier, or bolt, and firing pin. Well, this doesn't use an M16 bolt or firing pin, so the only insert you need
is the battery insert.
Is the one that holds batteries. It's the only logical one to have in here anyway.
Okay,
but you do make a good point. Between that, there's no vertical foregrip on here, and with this fixed stock, there's no storage in the fixed stock. It makes my AR-15 and all the storage compartments on board look like a Winnebago compared to this thing.
Yeah. Now, I do like that you have all your mounting positions here for aftermarket rails.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you should be able to mount your MOE, Magpul, polymer rail section, all that, just like a standard MOE front guard.
Alright guys, I'm going to be racing in on the time limit here, so let me just run through this. I know that wasn't nearly enough video on the ACR, and I apologize for the quality. Again, point and shoot camera, but I was trying to get you guys a sneak peek. I hope you enjoyed that. The handguard is free floated, so accuracy should be acceptable, certainly better than I can shoot. The safety selector, inexcusably cheap. And I don't know if it's because it's polymer construction or just what, but on an AR, if you've ever built a lower receiver, you've got the 2 detent channels basically between safe and fire, and then the channel that runs there, and it's very smooth, 2 positions. And there's all kinds of stops and catches, and it's very rough on a $2,400 rifle on this ACR. That's garbage, okay? That's just inexcusable. The safety design, lots of people complain about it too, the ambidextrous nature. It bumps on the trigger finger on the opposite side. Lots of people didn't like that. So I do have to point that out. Hugely disappointing. This is a $1,500 rifle tops, unfortunately. And my inner Magpul fanboy weeps that I'm not out here proclaiming the glories of this thing. But for $700 less, you can buy a Robinson Arms ACR, or XCR, pardon me, that will do everything the same. Now, you don't have the toolless quick change barrel. You got to carry an Allen key, but I think an Allen key could be worth $700. You know, especially considering the bolt catch and release and all that still work exactly the same. So, hugely disappointed with the ACR, but I do see a huge amount of potential as well. Now, the quick change barrel thing. Remington has historically been very unfriendly to civilians as far as NFA items goes. So, why do I care about a quick change barrel? I'm not a machine gunner, and if you're not going to sell me a 10-inch barrel or whatever I feel like putting on there, then what's the point? Lots and lots of potential. It's just a matter of seeing whether or not they'll actually exercise it. So again, it's like this gun is still just a beta version. It's like they released it 90% complete or 95% complete. You can see a great idea. It just kind of falls short here and there. And again, for the money, absolutely stupid. Let's hope it gets better. You know, right now, guys, I got to tell you, get an XCR or just build another AR-15. You can build an AR that'll run just as well. And when you want to do a quick change caliber, you just pop out 2 pins, throw on a new upper and a new magazine. And you're shooting a whole variety of calibers like 50 Beowulf and God only knows what else. So for right now, I got to pass on the ACR. But let's hope that in the future it does develop into something. In the meantime, hope you guys have been enjoying this and episode 99 of the Handgun Podcast. You all take care.